Dad and Mom have always had a passion for preserving history. It's somewhat rare on the Outer Banks. You have so many family traditions that are the root of the history. And when you can find structures that tell that story, that's the magic for him.
I think that we both feel like buildings that have housed the lives of men who save lives have stories to tell. And you have to put it in front of people and remind them that there has been something that occurred before their existence, and you tell the story, and that's been a pleasure to get to offer. And I feel like it is Doug's, especially his contribution to the Outer Banks community.
I can't really explain why, but my first preservation was really important to me, and it was just going right down the tubes. But we've done a number of them. Wash Woods, 1917 Coast Guard Station. We restored that and put the boathouse back and built the tower back, because it's just where it ought to be. Somebody needs to do it. So we did and never hesitated. We just finished our last one, I think, in Kitty Hawk. Elijah Baum home place. Sits up on a hill over Kitty Hawk Bay. And he was a surfman, as it happens, at the Kildale Hill Station in 1900 when the Wright boys first came down here. And the Wright boys stepped on that property when they came down here. It ought to be done.
I think the Outer Banks is such a unique place, and I think that, like all things, balance is good. And the Outer Banks has exploded in growth. Since we started the company, Mom and Dad, the Outer Banks is almost unrecognizable in some ways. And the more that occurs, the more I believe the natural tendency of maintaining a balance and maintaining preservation. And we would be dangerous as a community to forget the history and the heritage of those who have come before us, who have allowed us the opportunities we have.
And it's showing the Outer Banks in the light of what it used to be. Before it was this mecca for the East Coast of vacations. It was somewhere where the lightsavers or the life-saving station used to come and wait for ships to be in distress. And that's a different time in America, a different time in the livelihood of folks on the Outer Banks. And that's worth telling.
Ultimately, preservation is not about the buildings. It's about the stories of the people in the buildings. And that's a wonderful aspect of preservation, that we're so proud to honor those people and those stories. And we do it in the form of buildings, but it's the buildings those people were in.